of record, right?
Well,
You-
I just lost a verdict 850 when I was representing the attorney and the client. And I was seeing they had a defense case, and the attorney forgot, they reserved it and then forgot to make it. They had a defense case, so you can tell the jury what the defense case was. And that was just the first of the many mistakes, which I kind of at least I think there was DNA evidence like going a long way towards helping them.
Was it presented during the trial itself? I mean, even though he didn't make the opening, was it the evidence that he would have said presented?
I had the drunk girl saying that she fashioned digital and they found her DNA all over his ear shape.
Right, right.
So you can, but in the video, this dash cam video, you can see her, she's inside and she's grabbing his hand and crying and begging him to arrest for forgery.
So the argument is that's where the DNA
Right.
transferred?
The DNA exposed the tears.
Right.
And there was clear evidence that tears were all over his hand. Absolutely significant amounts of DNA. And the defense asked the DNA expert, the tears contain DNA, and the expert said possible. That's not possible.
Remain seated. Court's back in session.
Okay, please be seated. Are we ready to bring the jury back in?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and bring them in.
Jurors are present.
Please be seated. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And while you're getting settled in, I'll go through my questions. I could probably have you recite them for me, but I'll go ahead and do it. During the lunch recess, did any of you have any discussions amongst yourselves or with anybody else about the case? Please raise your hand if you have. No hands are being raised. Did any of you read or listen to any radio, television, or newspaper reports about the case? No hands are being raised. Did any of you use any type of electronic device to go on the internet to do independent research about the case, people, places, things, or terminology? No hands are being raised. Did any of you read or create any emails, text messages, text, blogs, or social networking pages about the case? No hands are being raised. Did any of you overhear anybody talking about the case? No hands are being raised. And finally, did any of you drive by any of the places described in the evidence for the purpose of doing an independent investigation of the case? No hands are being raised. Thank you very much. Mr. LaFay, please call your next witness.
Your Honor, the defense would call Officer Peets.
You may, Barb.
Thank you. Could you tell us your name, please?
Jason Peets,
And Officer Pease, where is it that you work?
Lake Mary Police Department.
You were here yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
And just to refresh for everyone's memory, how long have you been an officer in Lake Mary Police Department?
Approximately 6.5 years.
On May the 11th, 2015, were you dispatched to Waymont Court on Lake Mary Boulevard, where you encountered Mr. Apperson?
Yes, sir.
And when you arrived, what were your basic duties? Just in a thumbnail sketch.
To put up crime scene tape around Mr. Apperson's vehicle and just stay with his vehicle and just maintain that portion of the scene.
While you were doing that, did you overhear him make a statement about what had happened?
Yes.
What did he say specifically about Mr. Zimmerman?
Your Honor, objection to hearsay, self-serving hearsay.
Response?
It's exempted from hearsay under recent fabrication, improper influence, expressed or implied, and there's been an implied cross-examination on that of my client.
Can we approach, please? I don't want to have an argument in front of.
Well,
Objection.
let's approach.
Officer Pease, what did you overhear Mr. Apperson say?
Mr. Apperson made a comment to the effect of, pull a gun on me, that's not going to happen, which was the audio that I just reviewed watching my body cam video.
Okay, so, he pulled a gun on me and ain't gonna happen. Did he say anything about Mr. Zimmerman has had it in for me, he has no problems?
That comment was also on the body camera, yes.
At the same time,
Yes.
basically in the same breath?
Yes.
I don't have anything for the same time.
Prof?
No, I have no question.
Okay, thank you. May Officer Peets be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's not your witness. May Officer Peets be excused?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. You're excused. I appreciate it. Thank you. Call your next witness, please.
Your Honor, I'm going to apologize, but I need to approach momentarily about a certain matter involving this witness.
Okay. Call your next witness, please.
Samantha Scheibe.
You may proceed.
Could you tell us your name, please?
Samantha Scheibe.
Ms. Scheibe.
Well, can we have you spell your last name for the record?
Yes, ma'am. Scheibe.
Thank you.
May I take one?
Yes.
Ms. Scheibe, was there a time in 2013 that you were in a romantic relationship with George Zimmerman?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to direct your attention to November the 18th of 2013. Was there an argument between yourself and Mr. Zimmerman at your home?
There was.
During that argument, did Mr. Zimmerman come to have a shotgun in his hands?
Yes, he did.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defense F for identification. And I'm going to ask you, to look at that photo.
Mhm.
Does that appear to be the shotgun that was in Mr. Zimmerman's hand?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this time, the defense would introduce Defense F into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
F will come into evidence as Defense Exhibit 5.
Now, Ms. Scheibe, did Mr. Zimmerman, to your view, did he become angry? Or was he angry?
We were in an argument, so yes, we were both angry.
In his anger, what did Mr. Zimmerman do to the coffee table with the shotgun?
He smashed it.
And were you scared?
Scared of what?
Mr. Zimmerman.
I wasn't scared of him. I was scared of the argument. I was scared of what was going to happen once I realized that I was on the phone with 911. I was definitely in fear of everything that was.
So that would be my next question. Thank you. Did you call 911?
I did.
Zimmerman still in your home?
No.
Did Mr. Zimmerman say something about that while holding the shotgun?
Say something about,
Well, did he say something, do you really want to do this, words to that effect?
well, at the time, I think I was already on the phone with 911. And then all of this situation escalated. As he smashed my table and my other belongings, yes, that was said.
Now, I'm not going to ask you where. It's not my question, Ms. Shotgun. My question is, did he point the shotgun? I'm not asking where. Did that happen?
Well, if you have a shotgun in your hand in any situation, it's going to be pointed somewhere, whether at the ceiling, at the table.
Okay, well, then, so he pointed it.
I mean, I guess you could say that.
Were you in the room when that happened?
Yes, I was walking freely throughout my home.
Your Honor, I'm going to remove what's been marked as defense 5. And I do have one other, I'm sorry, I do have a few more questions if I may. I beg your pardon. Ms. Scheibe, Mr. Zimmerman was arrested, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was for aggravated assault.
I don't remember what his charges were.
You later went to the prosecutors and asked for the charges to be dropped or for Mr. Zimmerman not to be prosecuted, is that correct?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I don't have anything further.
Thank you, Cross.
Shadi, how are you?
Well, I understand.
Were you in fear of Mr. Zimmerman during that incident that you just told us about?
No, I was more in fear of what he might do to himself, or my belongings, to be honest with you.
Okay. Were you ever concerned that he would shoot you with that shotgun?
No.
Were you ever concerned that he would hurt you in any other way, in any way?
No, especially after I was locked out of my home, I was definitely not in fear.
And as Mr. Lefebvre indicated a moment ago, you requested that the charges not be filed against Mr. Zimmerman?
That is correct.
And in fact, is that the case, that no charges were ever filed against Mr. Zimmerman?
That's correct.
And have you continued a relationship? And when I say relationship, I'm speaking cordial, non-romantic type relationship with Mr. Zimmerman?
I mean, if you consider a text once a month or
Okay.
then,
So there's no problems or issues with you and Mr. Zimmerman?
we're not friends, but we don't not talk.
Okay.
I wouldn't not respond.
All right, thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you. Any redirect?
No, I do, Your Honor, thank you. Ms. Scheibe, after Mr. Zimmerman was arrested, you filled out a sheet with regard to his conditions of bond. Is that, do you remember that?
I remember seeing the sheet, yes.
And on that sheet, the first line up, is there a place for you to check, I am blank, am not blank, in fear of the defendant? Do you recall that?
I do not recall.
Would you care to see your form
Sure.
to refresh your memory? Ms. Shabby, I'll show you this
Mm-hmm.
at the top line.
Okay.
Did you check I am
I did.
in fear of the defendant?
I did. However, if I can explain on that, that situation caused a lot of chaos. It wasn't that I was afraid of the defendant so much as I was afraid of what was going to happen because of my relationship with the defendant, the threats that I got. The media camped out at my home for 2 weeks. I mean, yes, so because of the defendant, not of, I guess, the defendant.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay.
So, as a result of what came to be a lot of media,
Mm-hmm.
you put down that you were afraid of the defendant?
Again, because of being associated with the defendant, came a ton of threats. So it wasn't, again, that I was afraid of Mr. Zimmerman, but I was afraid of what was going to happen because of a relationship with Mr. Zimmerman.
But do you recall further down on the form you put, because he choked me?
I did not put because he choked me. It asked the question, have you ever been choked? Or has the defendant ever choked you?
Did you write, yes, he choked me?
I did. It didn't ask me the situation in which I was choked.
Okay. So let me ask,
Mhm.
did the choking cause you to fear?
No.
Did it ask if he ever tried to strangle you?
I assume that's the same as choking. To me, it's the same thing.
Did you put yes to that?
Your Honor, objection, calls for hearsay, and it's irrelevant at this point. And it calls for hearsay.
Overruled. And that also was not on the same day, that whole situation.
Well, I'm just gonna ask you,
Right.
did the strangling cause you to fear him?
No, sir. Strangling, again, in my opinion, was the same as choking.
Did it ask if he had ever threatened you with a weapon?
I'm sure it did.
Did you say yes?
Your Honor, objection, it's beyond the scope of direct examination, and it's also hearsay.
Overruled.
Did you say yes?
Ask the question again, please.
Or did it ask, has your partner threatened you with a weapon?
I'm sure it did, and
Did you say yes?
I'm not sure what I answered.
Would it refresh your memory to take a look at your answer?
Sure.
Ms. Shivey, I'm just going to here refer you to number 3 on the page.
Okay.
Did you say yes to that?
I did.
Did that cause you to fear Mr. Zimmerman?
No, and again, in a retracted statement, I corrected a lot of things that I had put in my original statement that you're bringing up right now.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any recross?
Did you prepare a affidavit after the statement that Mr. Lefebvre referred to?
Yes, sir.
And what was contained in the affidavit? What did you say in the affidavit?
I'm not sure exactly everything I said, but I did read.
Would it refresh your recollection if I showed you the affidavit? May I approach you?
Yes, you may.
tell the jury, what did you say in that affidavit?
Which part do you want me to read?
Any part that concerns whether or not you're in fear of Mr. Zimmerman.
During the argument, I put George and I exchanged words in the heat of the moment, and we were in very close proximity in a relatively small room.
Object to the reading of the entire affidavit, but if there's a part in here that has to do with fear of Mr. Zimmerman, by all means. But I mean.
But it said George never pointed a gun at or toward my face in a threatening manner. So there was never,
Okay.
so I was not in fear, clearly. I didn't feel threatened.
Did you request that you be allowed to have contact with him?
I did.
You request that the charges not be filed?
I did.
I'm not familiar.
Any redirect?
I have one question.
Go ahead.
Ms. Shibe,
Were you in love with Mr. Zimmerman?
No. I loved him, but I was not in love. I'd been friends with him for 15, 16 years.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any recross?
No, Your Honor.
May Ms. Scheibe be excused? Okay, thank you very much. You may be excused. Please call your next witness.
Your Honor, I would ask to take a witness out of turn, pressed for time. That would be Sergeant Toller.
You may proceed.
Could you tell us your name, please?
Stephen L. Toller.
And are you a sergeant with the Lake Mary Police Department?
Yes, sir, I am.
Sergeant Toller, how long have you been with Lake Mary?
15 years now.
I just want to direct your attention back to May 11th, 2015. Were you dispatched to Waymont Court to sort of take control of the situation with Mr. Apperson and that being on May 11th, 2015?
I did respond to that location. I wasn't necessarily dispatched per se. I heard one of the officers call out with Mr. Zimmerman, and based on what I heard on the police radio, I responded to Waymont Court.
And did you stay there for some time with Mr. Apperson and his car awaiting Detective Hernandez?
Yes, I did.
During that time, did Mr. Apperson, was he anxious to speak to the police?
Yes.
Now, was it your job to interview or question Mr. Apperson?
Only in a very basic sense, just to try to determine what type of scenario we might be dealing with, but not to the level or extent of a protracted investigation.
And did you also have other things that you needed to do, crime scene tape, just securing everything and handling any passerbys?
Yes.
Did at 104, did Mr. Apperson make a statement without even being questioned? I did not want to have to do that. He pulled a gun.
I believe that's accurate, yes.
Can I take a moment, please?
Yes. Okay, thank you. Any cross?
I have no questions, Your Honor.
May Sergeant Toller be excused?
You may, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You are excused. Please call your next witness.
George Zimmerman.
Your Honor, can we approach, please?
Is there a reason?
I'm sorry,
Why do you need to approach?
to address a matter, a legal matter.
No. You may proceed.
I want to ask you some questions involving events on February the 26th of 2012 with Apperson Trayvon Martin.
Yes, sir.
On that day, you had a Kel-Tec 9mm holster, but a pistol, 9mm pistol, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you came to originally see Mr. Martin walking.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, objection, leaving.
Sustained.
What was Mr. Martin doing when you first saw him?
I don't know the best way to describe it. I think it was described as skulking or lingering in between houses in my neighborhood.
Now, did you follow him?
No, sir.
Did you call the non-emergency number of the Lake Mary Police Department?
I don't know if it was the Lake Mary Police Department. I think it's the Seminole County Sheriff's, but it was the non-emergency. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Just a non-emergency number.
Yes, sir.
And on that call, did the dispatcher ask, "Are you following him?"
Yes, he did.
Answer, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, you just told the jury not even a minute ago that you weren't following.
Correct, sir. At the time.
You can explain, just let me
Okay.
finish my question.
Sure.
You certainly may explain your answer.
Now, or you want me to wait?
I'm just going to finish my question.
Okay, yes, sir.
You just told this jury that you weren't following him, but you told the dispatcher that you were. So, can you explain that
Certainly.
to the jury?
Certainly. At the time the dispatcher asked me that, I was not I'm sorry, I was getting into a better position. What Mr. LaFay has omitted is that the dispatcher asked me, tell me which way this guy is going, let me know if he does anything. So that was per the non-emergency operator's instruction. I positioned myself into a better place where I could see where Mr. Martin was going so I could relay that information to the non-emergency operator. Now that I've had time to review it, not as on the call with the non-emergency operator, that clearly to me isn't following. That's just getting into a better position where I can relay that information to the non-emergency operator. But I didn't have enough time to explain that on the call.
Explain any time you'd like, Mr. Zimmerman.
Thank you, sir.
But then, again, you were interviewed by Investigator Serino of the Sanford Police Department on February 27th, 2012 at 12:05 a.m. Do you remember those interviews?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall the question by Detective Serino? You followed this person, question mark. You, yes, sir. Remember that question?
I don't recall the question exactly, but I would say that that is, again, within hours of having to take a life to defend my own, and I didn't have the time to explain to him that I was simply following the non-emergency operator's instruction.
That was a fairly long interview, though, was it not, Mr. Zimmerman, on the 27th?
It started on the 26th and went through the 27th, as you said, to the early morning of the 27th. Yes, sir. It was not, I'm sorry, the interview with Mr. Sereno was a very short interview. I interviewed with 3 other investigators or police officers at the time.
Mr. Zimmerman, at some point, there was, by your testimony, or excuse me, at some point, you had a physical confrontation, as to say, a physical struggle with Mr. Martin, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And is it your testimony that that was completely unprovoked by yourself?
Absolutely, yes, sir. He sucker punched me and broke my nose. I didn't do anything to him.
You shot him in the chest?
I didn't do anything to provoke it. I thought that was the question, sir.
I'm asking you about, thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Actually, that was my last question. We've gone on to another question. And the new question is, you shot him in the chest?
To stop the attack, yes, sir. To save my own life.
As it turns out, you didn't have any weapons, is that correct?
It depends on what you consider a weapon, sir. He was beating my head repeatedly into the concrete sidewalk, and that has been categorized as a weapon. Yes, sir.
So I'm not including Mr. Martin's penis. Thank you.
Besides,
You had no weapon on his person, is that correct?
no, sir. On his person, no, sir.
Your Honor, I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Ross?
I have no questions.
Thank you. May Mr. Zimmerman be excused? Thank you very much, sir. You are excused.
Is that for the duration of the trial? Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Call your next witness, please.
The defense rests. Thank you.
State have any rebuttal witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, we're going to have to go over jury instructions, so I'm going to ask that you bear with us, but if you please put your notepads face down on the chair and go back into the jury room. We'll be with you shortly.
Your Honor, I would renew my motion, my previously argued motion for judgment of acquittal. You know, I can reiterate the same grounds, which I think they were sparse in the last go around. And just say that no buttress on my work adding to the equation would be my client's testimony in the defense case, but otherwise the arguments remain the same.
Okay, I think there's the jury questions, so your motions will be denied.
Thank you.
Okay.
Your Honor, just from the way of things, and I can say, probably, you know, I had my case lined up to begin at 1:30 with Mr. Apperson today. I am unprepared.
Okay, well, I'd like to go over the jury instructions, and then we can talk about, I mean, I don't want to send this jury out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon either, so I think it'd be safe to say we can have our closings in the morning, but I'd like to go over the jury instructions. I don't have any.
They are prepared, they're on my computer. I sent a copy to Mr. LeFay, just in case we need to make any quick corrections, but if I can call down to my office, I can have them send up a copy up to your email address.
Okay, I don't, okay.
If you want me to,
Well, I have to let my,
what would you like me to do, Judge?
that's fine. I'm used to getting a hard copy on the first day of trial, but this will work.
you want me to have someone down there print out 2 copies and we can?
No, if you'll just call and have it emailed, I'll go ahead and tell Brandy to get it off the printer.
The problem is I don't have a copy either. Sarah.
If we're not gonna do closings today, and we're gonna do them in the morning, so I might as well have the jurors come back in and excuse them for the day.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead and bring them in.
Here is the present.
Okay, I'm making an executive decision. We're gonna be here a while, so I don't wanna keep you back there, and I don't know how long it's gonna take. It's already 2:30 in the afternoon. So when we do finish with them, it would be kind of late before we begin closing arguments. So I don't want to keep you here to do that. So I'm deciding to have you come back at 8:30 in the morning. When you come back, that's when we'll go right to closing arguments. Then you'll be read the instructions and you'll go to deliberate. Okay, is everybody okay with that? All right. So you're gonna have to listen to me another time about my instructions during the overnight recess. You're not to read or listen to any radio, television, or newspaper reports about the case. You're not to read or create any emails, text messages, tweets, blogs, or social networking pages about the case. Do not use any type of an electronic device to go on the internet to do any independent research about the case, people, places, things, or terminology. Do not discuss the case amongst yourselves or with anybody else. If anybody tries to talk to you about the case, please ask them to stop at once. If they continue, please leave them and report the matter to the court deputy. And also, please do not drive by any of the places described in the evidence for the purpose of doing an independent investigation. Do I have your assurances that you will abide by these instructions? Okay, with that, if you'll put your notepads face down, follow Deputy Demps. Have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning. Okay, I got your, I don't know why if they've printed out or not, so let's be in recess for 10 minutes. I'll go back and get it.
Did you receive that?
I have the email. I don't know if it printed out. I asked her to bring them up. Okay, we'll be in recess for 10 minutes. Well, I don't want to go out there because the jury's walking by there. I'm not getting to take a break. What did you need?
Yeah, it's not long. Can you write it out?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay. All right. I don't hear them walking by. Yeah, I don't want to walk out with them there. What is she talking about? I guess I can don't do this stuff. They're not going to need it. No, it's only it for the morning night.
No.
Are you gone? Did they walk by? Huh? Okay, are we ready to go over instructions? Do you need some time?
I think just a couple seconds, Your Honor.
Okay.
We're working out a special
All right.
instruction.
Just let me know when you're